Earlier this week, under clear skies, a rocket took off into space. The rocket was carrying a cargo that scientists say follows in the pioneering footsteps of the Hubble and Webb space telescopes. This telescope, known as the Euclid Space Telescope, may bring about as much information as the Lewis and Clark expedition to the Northwest Territory or Magellan's circumnavigation around the world. You see, the Euclid Space Telescope is designed to observe and measure dark matter and dark energy. These are not evil or negative forces at all. Dark, in many ways, refers to the invisible or not yet seen or measured matter and energy. Scientists suggest that nearly 90% of the universe is made up of matter that we have never seen or measured. Imagine that. And also, dark energy, they believe, is that energy that's behind the expansion of the universe, though we've never been able to measure that either. So I marvel that God has given us the ingenuity to be able to create, test, and even have failures, ultimately to come, we hope, with success, to put 2 tons of some of the most scientific and sensitive instruments on a rocket, blast it into space, to travel 1 million miles in a month to begin observing dark matter and dark energy. I'm reminded of the church. I'm reminded of the church in the way that, imagine that all that we see of the church is that 5 to 10% of the visible ministry of the church. Victoria Curtis writes that the congregation gathers as the community of Christ, listens as a community to the Holy Spirit, and goes forth as God's people. Those first two, to gather and to listen, comprise maybe 5 to 10% of the visible ministry of the church. It is that going forth into the world as God's people, which I would offer is the 90% that is invisible to most of us. This congregation has a practice of going out, being sent out into the world, and helping to make visible what is often invisible. We make meals and visit with one another, with our neighbors and with strangers, meeting for walks, for coffee, for tea. We send cards of encouragement, support, and hope. In the words of Roger Nishioka, I love this, when you feel terrified and feel utterly alone, we will rain down the power of the holy casserole upon you and will show you that you are not alone. There is so much more to the 90% of Christ's ministry than what we may see with our visible eyes. We serve on advisory committees to the city, and we are striving to be able to bring more affordable housing into this community for our neighbors. We chaperone youth mission trips. We also raise money and gather food. We bake bread for TOPS for our neighbors, and we volunteer through TOPS and FRC and community service organizations. I encourage you to mentally add your contribution to that 90% right now. How are you making visible what seems to be the invisible 90%? Take a look around this space with me. This is where the 90% were a few minutes ago. But we're not here anymore. You're not here anymore. You've gone into this world to serve and to be the community of God's people, making an impact for this world that God so loves. Thank you for being the hands and the feet, the heart and the mind, the lips and the ears of Christ today. Thank you for what you do. Thank you for being the 90% that is making visible what is so often invisible. Peace be with you today.